Hey, today I'm going to test out all the weapons in Polar Patriot Warbond. We'll check out the damage against both the automatons and the bugs. I'll be giving my honest opinion whether or not you should purchase this. We'll take a look at the AR-61 Tenderizer, SMG-72 Pumer, Plas 101 Purifier, and more. Timestamps will be down below, so check them out when you get the chance. So without further ado, let's dive right into it. Let's start off by comparing the weapons here. We'll go to the very top here and check out the Tenderizer and compare it to the other weapons. For example, right here we have the Liberator Penetrator, and this one does have a higher fire rate. For the Liberator, the normal version, higher capacity, better fire rate. Then we have the AR-23C with better damage essentially, and the same thing with the BR-14. So nothing too crazy there. Then when we go to the SMG, we also don't see too big of a difference here with these two. Except for the fact that the original one has way better damage and way better fire rate, which is crazy to think. And I'll share my opinions on that. And this one right here, spoiler alert, it's god-awful. So you might be wondering, why is that? Well, I'll share that right now. Let's go ahead and check out the gameplay. Alright, the idea behind this weapon is that when you charge it up, you let it go, and then it shoots straight at the enemy. But it does not do anything. It actually does squat. Now, it is quite effective against the smaller enemy types, but when it comes down to the much larger and aggressive enemies, it's useless. It truly is. I mean, if you take a look right here in this clip, you're probably wondering, what the heck kind of weapon is this? And to be quite honest, I couldn't tell you. I thought it was supposed to do a lot of damage, but in the end, it's just minuscule. There's absolutely no reason to pick up this weapon, to be quite honest with you, because I wasn't really digging it. And I'm sure if you're taking a look at this, you're probably thinking the same exact thing. Why would they add something like this where it literally just bounces the enemies around and that's pretty much it? There's no other reason to use this. A great example will be right here, because you will see a bunch of these larger enemy types, and then when I throw that large energy at them, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. And when I try out these smaller enemies, yeah, it's great. So why would they make this the very last weapon that you can unlock when it's weak? Absolutely weak. There's no point in using it, as I have mentioned. Sorry if I do sound a bit upset here. I just wasted money on this, essentially, I think. But we're going to get into my final thoughts towards the end of the video here. But what I would like is your opinions, your comments down below. What do you think about this weapon so far? Am I right to be upset about it? Or do you think I should probably just try it out some more and maybe it'll get better? But to be completely honest with you, I don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, feel free to let me know your opinions down below. Let's move along and check out the SMG-72 Pumer. Okay, so with this weapon, is it bad or is it good? It's actually not too bad, but as you have noticed when we did take a look at the beginning there and we compared the two SMGs, this one actually falls short in damage and some of the fire rate. But that does not mean it's bad, because you do have those concussive rounds, which is absolutely useful here, but there's also the assault rifle that also has this, so you kind of have your trade there. Would you rather use the SMG or would you rather use the assault rifle? Personally, if I had a choice, I'd probably use the SMG instead of the assault version that's in the Veterans Warbond. What is it? The Stilled Veterans Warbond. There we go. So now let's check it out and see how it does against the automatons. This right here is on the Helldiver difficulty, so you can tell that it's quite difficult here. But with that being said, if you take a look at the damage, not too bad. It's actually exceptional. And here's an example of the SMG-72, just a comparison here between the Pumer and the normal one. There's really not too big of a difference, but again, you are seeing those concussive rounds in the previous SMG. Next up, we have the Incendiary grenade, and this one's not too bad. You throw it straight down, impacts right away, and I actually like this one out of the last grenade in the last Warbond, specifically the Democratic Detonation Bundle, or Warbond I should say. Not my favorite one, but hey, this grenade, way better. And last but not least, we have the Tenderizer. I think this one is probably the best weapon in the Warbond. It sounds crazy to say that, considering that the very first weapon that we just talked about is the last weapon on the Warbond. This one is way better. Way better than that one, because at least you're actually inflicting damage here. Now, what I will be showing you here is an example of both the bugs and the automatons, just to kind of give you an idea of the damage and how it performs overall. And with that being said, yeah man, there's not really too much to say about this when it comes down to the other assault rifles, because I actually believe there's a better assault rifle than this one. The damage on this one is actually not bad, it's at 60, but if you take a look at the other weapons from the beginning, you can obviously tell that there's some better choices here. Sure, you have more magazines here, but it doesn't seem quite effective against the bugs. Sure, it's actually inflicting damage, but it's not that great compared to the other assault rifles. This is my honest opinion. You guys can definitely tell me your opinions on it, what you think about it, because I will leave a comparison here of another assault rifle that I'm using, just to kind of show you the difference. When it comes down to the assault rifle choices, I can say for sure that the BR-14 does way better damage, and it's actually something I use frequently. I ended up swapping the tenderizer out for this, because I felt like the tenderizer was not doing enough damage to the bugs, but that's just what I personally think about it. We're now going to move on and talk about the pistol. So I do want to let you guys know right away, I'm not happy about the pistol either. It's pretty bad as well. I don't like it. I'm really not a big fan of it because when it comes down to it, it's not that great. There's not a lot of capacity, there's not a lot of ammo in there. When it comes down to the reload, not too bad. I would say you have better options. You could either choose the Senator, you could also choose the SMG type pistol. That will do you a lot better here. You could of course mix it up and maybe even use the basic pistol. That will probably even be better than this one. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. I really am not. It just wasn't what I imagined any of these weapons were, to be quite fair. And I believe you guys are going to feel the same way either when you do get the chance to test these weapons out, or if you're watching this video, you're probably thinking, yeah, I'm not into it. Just, it's terrible, guys. I really don't know what to tell you about this Warbond. I do want to give you guys my honest opinion and let you know what I personally think about it. I'm sure you guys could guess. It's not worth buying. In my opinion, I do not think you guys should waste your money on it. Instead, you should probably just save it up and see if this Warbond does change over time. And I start to question whether or not we should have voted no for the Warbond. Maybe the developers should have, increased the damage a bit more, give it some more oomph. And with that being said, this is where this Warbond falls short at comparison to the other Warbonds. Because I'll be completely honest with you guys, when it comes down to the Democratic Detonation Warbond, I would rather have that one than this one. I actually think I got my money's worth with that one than I did with this. It's insane to say that because I thought this one was actually going to be really, really good, just seeing the items in the previews and whatnot. So final conclusion, what do I think about this Warbond? I think it's absolutely not worth picking up. So what I suggest is that if you do plan on purchasing a Warbond, I would recommend picking up the Stilled Veterans if you have yet to do so. The Polar Patriots is just not that great. The weapons aside, I will say that when it comes down to the armor, there's nothing special there either. All the armor in the Warbonds have pretty much the same passives and are already existing armors essentially. So it's like, well, what's the difference here? I get something that looks cool, but the armor isn't really worth it. Is there really any positives with the Warbond? I will say there is when it comes down to the booster and the grenade, but that's about it. With all these weapons and armors and everything that I have said, I do not have any other opinions on it, but I would like to know what you think about it. Let me know down below. Anyways, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, comment down below. I'll see you all in the next video.